G'day guys, how you going? Hope you're all well. I'll just wait a few minutes and see if anyone comes on. Try and get organised. Hey Ronette, how are you? Hey Eva. How are you both? You well? So I'm going to be talking about dowsing rods today, or divining rods, whatever you want to call them. I'll just give it another minute and see if anyone else comes on. Oh God, my hair's a mess. What is sticking out? Sorry. Hey, poor thing, Evie, you're still at work. It's Saturday morning here, so I don't work this weekend, thank God. Oh no, Ronette. 500 miles from home. Jeez. Are you okay? You safe? Like someone coming to pick you up, or not that I can help? I'm in fucking Australia. Sorry, but I'm good, Eva. Thank you for asking. It's my daughter's 18th birthday today, so going out for brunch after this, and then she's going out partying, so I'll be up all night worrying. So might make a start in a minute. Sorry, I'm finishing my cigarette. Alright, well, looks like it's just us three for now, so I think I'll make a start. Oh, I'm glad you're safe, that's good. I hope you get it sorted, Ronette. Alright, so we're going to talk about dowsing rods today, or divining rods. They are an ancient practice of holding two sticks together, or metal rods, to find hidden objects. So usually they were used to find water, but they were also used to find precious metals as well, or metals as well. So dowsing's been around for thousands of years. They're not sure as to where it's actually, hey Monica, where it originated. Some say that they think in the 15th century it originated in Germany. And they say that originally it may have been actually used for divination purposes, to divine the will of the gods. So I do use the rods, the divining rods. I've got some here. So these are just ones I've made, if you can see them. And I'll work with them in a minute and show you what they do. So you can see I've put beads on the handles just so they're comfortable. They're not cold like the rods are. So that's one set. And then I've got this set. As you see, it's not perfect metal either. Like, they're not perfectly straight or anything. They still do the same thing. and these ones. And these ones are actually copper. I love these ones. These are my favourite. Although I'm not sure about the pink I'll put on them, but never mind. So I said that they think that it originated in Germany during the 15th century. And that's dowsing as practiced today. And it was predominantly used for finding metals over there. And it spread to England when the German miners migrated over to England. So, dowsing, I'm just going to read this bit. So, it may be defined as the communication of subtle energies and information perceived by one's extended senses and natural intuition, which is focused, rational mind through the use of the device tool or your learned response. So using the rods. They work the same as a pendulum, except you're not just holding it, but they do require a yes or no question. So what I use my rods for mainly is my ancestor works. So speaking a lot to my ancestors or contacting them, and especially my dad. And I'll show you a little thing that Dad and I do later with the rods. So I guess it's like the pendulum when you're using them. So I'm just going to finish this. You want to get in tune with them, to get them in tune with you. When I made these ones, or when I made them all, I anointed them with a bit of peppermint oil to cleanse and tune them in, and I put a little bit of peppermint oil on my forehead as well when I was doing it to tune them into me. So you could ask, so I'll do something with them. So I hope you can see them all right. You'd ask them how will you answer for yes, and you'll see them cross. How will you answer for no? And you'll see them uncross, so they'll be straight for a no answer. So I'm going to ask, am I a girl? And it always gets confused on that. Am I a girl? Yes, thank you. Okay. Is Dad around with me this morning? Is Dad here today? Yep. Hey Dad, I love you. So you can see them like uncrossing and crossing when the questions are answered. So I'm just going to show you a little trick. So I'd ask Dad some questions if I needed any clarification or anything. Just talk to him. But at the end, I always ask Dad for a hug. So Dad, could you give me a hug? Can you see them? So they go around my shoulders. It always gives me goosebumps. I love you, Dad. Thank you. And then they'll uncross when I'm finished. When he's finished giving me my hug. Hey, Gina, how are you? So the divining rods, like I said, are very much like the pendulum. So it's important, especially if you're trying or talking to spirit, that you protect yourself. So really protect yourself up. Because you never know, and sometimes like that I might not be talking to Dad. It could be someone else in disguise, who knows, but they give me a hug anyway, so there he goes again. So yeah, you want to protect yourself before using them, and cleanse them too before and after you use them. Does anyone have any questions so far about them? Because I'm not sure in what direction to head with them yet. So just wait a minute and see if you have any questions. If you haven't watched Sarah Lee's live on pendulums, I would suggest that you actually watch that. These are actually a copper wire, these ones, and they're just beaded. You don't have to bead them. I remember as a child, Dad used to use them a lot on our farm when we first moved up there to find water to dig the dams. So that was my first introduction to them. And these ones are just wire. They're just a wire. I actually got a set that are made from a coat hanger as well. And you can also use sticks if you can find sticks that sort of are in that shape. You can just use sticks. So you can make them from any kind of wire, but they do say copper is best because it's a really great conductant, so it will help bring the energies in. But these ones still work as well. So how will you answer for yes? Oh God. How will you answer for no? And I'll go straight again. That's always how they'll cross for yes for me and they'll straighten for no. But when Mum uses them, she's the opposite. Same with pendulums. So that's a no answer for her and that's a yes answer for her, whereas I'm totally the opposite. That's a yes for me. And oh, run it, yeah, they can be quite expensive. It's crazy. So yeah, you're better off to make your own, and they're more personal that way too. And like you can get the copper rods from well, we have Bunnings over here, but your hardware stores, I don't know what kind of hardware stores you'd have over there, but you can just buy them from a hardware shop, and then you just bend them. You just need a pair of pliers because they'll come in a straight rod, and then you just bend them as to how far you want your handle, how long you want your handle. So I've got pretty big hands, so they're fairly long for me, but you lovely ladies with dainty hands might have them smaller. So they're really easy to make, and you don't have to put the beads on them. I just fancied them up because I like beads and stuff. So yeah, so copper rods from your hardware shop. Like I said, you can use any metal. What crystals would be good to add to one? If I made and used crystals instead of beads. Yeah, any crystals. And I guess it depends on your purpose. You could use some black crystals for protection. You could use some clear quartz to enhance the energies. Gina. Your hands aren't dainty either. They're a fun size. Yeah. My kids call my hands man hands. So, thanks, kids. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess it depends on as far as the crystals that you could put on them. What you could put on anything you want. I would probably suggest some protection crystals on there, and probably some clear quartz, just to as that's an amplifier, so it will amplify the energies. I've never seen them until just recently on YouTube. Wow, they have been around for, like I said, thousands and thousands of years. They're not new, and originally they do think that they were used as a divining tool to speak to the for the divine, for the will of the divine. So that's what they were originally, well, they think they were originally used for, and then they became used to find water. Yes, Gino, yes, ghost hunts, yes, and like that's, yeah, exactly right. And I use them a lot just to have a chat with Dad a lot. So, hey Kathy. And I guess if you, as far as the crystals, I mean, going back to that question again, Monica, you could use any crystals you want. You could even put a bit of blue lace agate on for the calming effect as well. Any crystal you want. And I guess it would depend on your purpose for the rods. So these ones I just use for everyday things. You know, are my keys in my bag? Are my keys in my... Where are my keys? I won't answer that question, but yeah. Are my keys in the bedroom? So this is just for finding things mainly, whereas these ones are predominantly just to speak to ancestors, and mainly Dad and my nan. And these ones are just for whatever. If I can't find the others, I'll use these. So divination is my favourite. So you might have given me a new tool. Oh, cool, Ronette. Have a go at making your own. And like, if you have any trouble, just send me a message and I'll see if I can help in any way. I don't have a lot more to say on it. There's not a lot of information, and what is out there is mainly on water dowsing, so finding the water and the metals. So does anyone have any other questions about them? Because I'll wait a minute and see. If you, has anyone got any dowsing rods? Does anyone use them? I love them. I do like them. And I'll flick between these and a pendulum, just to make sure that they're giving me the right sort of answers sometimes. Oh, Eva, yeah, same here. My dad used to use them a lot to find water. And Renette has seen the dowsing rods with the Y stick, yeah. I've never used the Y stick. I've always just gone for the rods, the different one. So I don't know how they work. I presume they work exactly the same, but I've never used them, so. Kathy's never used them. Oh, cool. So Gina's borrowed some to use from a fellow practitioner. Do you like them, Gina? Is it something that you would get into or use more than sort of once? They're really easy to make. And like I said, when you if you make your own, do anoint them with something just to purify them, cleanse them, and bring them in tune with you. Meredith's watched a lot of videos about them. Coraline, yeah, that's a good one, Kathy. So I don't have a lot more to say about them. It's only going to be a short one. I do like them, but rarely have a need for using them lately. I should get or make a set to keep handy. Yeah, yeah. Mine just sit in my bedroom on my bookshelf next to my pendulums. Good question. How long should they be? I suppose these are I think the rods were about 50 centimetres when I bought them, and then you bend them to where you want. But the rods will come in a length. So you'll buy a couple of, what did I say the word? Copper rods. So you buy two and they'll be the same length, and then you ideally actually want to bend them at the same spot. And you can see I haven't quite. This one's a bit shorter than the other, but that doesn't matter. You'll buy them in a straight rod, and then I don't want to straighten this one up, but and then you'll bend them yourself as to how big your hand is, how long you want your handle. And they're quite easy to, you might need two pair of pliers, one to hold the hand, like the one section, and the other to bend it down to the straight. And it's easier to hold the longer piece still and bend the handle down to to how you want it. The wire gauge doesn't really matter. Either you don't, yeah, roughly, I guess roughly about the size of your forearm. I mean, you can always cut them if you think they're too big anyway with a pair of wire cutters. Like the length of it, yep. These aren't very thick, but I don't. The gauge doesn't actually matter. I don't think, because if you look at it this way, if you're using sticks, like sticks can be quite round, so it doesn't really matter. I probably wouldn't go too thin, because you don't want them too flexible, like to bend. And I have no idea what gauge that is. I don't know if you can see that. It's not very thick. Probably a mil. Yeah, probably about a mil. That's okay, Eva. I've seen itty bitty small ones, but I'm pretty sure they'd be super hard to use. Yeah, Gina. Especially with our hands. And I like them a bit bigger, so you can get a good hand on them and good handle. What? So, is there any other questions? This is going to be a quick live. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're probably right, Gina. 16 gauge or less. Yeah, like I said, you wouldn't want them too thick, but I don't think it really matters. And you don't want them too thin because of that flexibility. You want them sort of to stay straight. So anyone got any other questions on the dowsing rods, or how to use them, or... I would, if you can get some wire, and look, my first set was actually made from coat hangers, and they worked really well. So, yeah, so sorry, I was just reading Gina's message there. So, you can just make your own out of a coat hanger. That wire works fine. That's all my dad ever used, was a coat hanger. Cut it out, unwind it, cut it up, make them like that. Not with pretty beads, but Dad wasn't into beads. And then he'd just go off and look for his water. I've never tried these ones in finding water. like I said, I predominantly use these ones specifically for spirit work. So yeah. Are there any other questions? Gina said 12 gauge or less would probably be a bit on the thick side. So yeah. Well, I don't know how much I'd spend on a purchase set because I've never actually purchased one. I make my own. And so if you wanted to try them, I would recommend that you just make your own. And like I said, you can just make them from old coat hanger. Just get your energy with them. So if you're going to make them from anything, coat hanger, whatever, I would anoint them with something. Like I said, I use the peppermint oil. You can use whatever you think would work best for you. I probably, Gina, would not buy a set. I'd probably just make them. And not because I'm a tight ass or anything, but I am a little bit, but I think that they're more you when you make them. They get you're entwining your energy into the wires, and especially the copper, the conductive copper. So I'd recommend having a go at making your own out of anything, wire, sticks, and just fiddling around with them. But if you want to get into them and practice a bit more, then get yourself some copper wire and have a go with them. Anyone got any more questions? Yeah, Jeannie, it just gives it that personal touch, I think. I've tried making my own pendulums and I don't have much success with that. So I always buy pendulums. But the dowsing rods, I just don't think I'd buy them. I'd just make them. So, does anyone have any other questions? I don't know if I've been very informative or not today. Like with anything, but divination wise, do protect yourself when you're using them, because you just never know what you're going to call in. So is there anything specific anyone wants to know about them? So I'll see if I can help. And you don't have to put, when you make your own, you don't have to put your fancy beads on. Like I said, you can just leave them with the wire. But, yeah, just makes it more personal. So, alright, thank you. Thanks, Gina. Is there anything else that anyone wants to know about them, or try or ask, or the first time I tried these ones and was trying to communicate with Dad, I had a question for him. We couldn't find his when he passed away, we couldn't find one of his knives, and we weren't sure where it was, so I sort of got these out and asked him were they in certain places, and they kept crossing over to no. And in the end, I said the right place, and sorry, they didn't cross over to no. They stood straight for no, and then they crossed over when I said the right place that it was. And then I accidentally said to him, "Dad, I love you and I miss you." And I just miss your hugs. And that's when they said, there they go again. They just wrap around to give me that hug around the shoulders. So, what does it mean when they are going all crazy? Well, that could mean that they're unsure. So when I ask how they'll answer for yes, and I'll do this with the pendulum too, so they'll cross. And how will you answer for no? And they'll go straight. What will you do if you need more information? Or there you go, see? And they'll just go crazy like that. Or if you're unsure or you just don't want to answer, and that's what they'll do. So I hope you can see that. So I asked those 3 questions. How will you answer for yes? How will you answer for no? And how will you answer if you need more information? So that could be that that they're not sure, or they want more information about the question you've asked. Oh, good. Thank you, Gina. I'm glad that answered that, because I was starting to waffle then. Monica's, oh good, Monica. I hope you do. I hope you all have a go at making your own, because they're really fascinating tools. I love them. Yeah, I do just hold them kind of loose, but it doesn't matter. I'll sort of, you don't want to hold them too tight, because you still want them to be able, well, they still move, and that's pretty tight. I would say how you want to hold them, a comfortable grip for you. Not too loose, but not too tight, just what's comfortable. I don't know if you can actually, so I haven't got a tight grip on them. You can't even see that, sorry. Yeah, so not too loose, but not overly tight as well. Just comfortable, just like you'd hold your pendulum, just whatever's comfortable for you. Is there anything else? Like I said, if you do have a go at making your own, and you have any, yeah, Gina, they do. The beads do keep them nice and free to do their job. They still do work if you don't bead the handles. Like you'll still feel the wires moving in your hands. I think it's just nicer for you to hold them with the beads. So if there's no more questions, like I said, if you have a go at making your own and you do have any questions or anything, just send me a message and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Oh, Renette, I look forward to seeing it. Renette's going to make her own and send me a picture. I would love that. So if you do make your own, please do send me a photo. I'd love to see them. All right, my lovelies, I'm going to go. I'm sorry that was a bit short. But I'm going to go and see my daughter for her birthday. So, any other questions before I go? Thank you, girls. I do hope you have a go at making them. Like I said, I really love using them. So, thank you, Gina. All right, lovelies. Well, you have a good afternoon, night over there, I presume. Thank you, Gina. I'm going to have fun. I'm actually, hubby's going to take me down on the motorbike this morning to meet them. So, I love going for a bike ride. It's great. All right, girls. Well, you have a lovely night, and I will see you soon. Blessed be, sisters. See ya. Oh, shit. I can finish how to finish it. Night, girls.